Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE All Talk video for my WWE Monday Night Raw review for January 7th, 2019, up until WWE Main Event review January 9th, 2019. So this pretty much is going to be my reviews for Raw, SmackDown, and 205 Live. I'll say the dates as I go through it. And I'm just going to do this all in one take because I've already watched all the shows and stuff, and I figured that would just be fine. So I'm just going to get right into this video. We had Corey Graves, Michael Cole, and Renee Young on commentary for this show, and it does it in memory of Mean Gene Okerlund, since this was the first Raw that aired since he passed away. And it then cuts right to a brawl between Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley, which I thought was kind of weirdly timed because we had just seen that Mean Gene Okerlund thing. I feel like they should have kicked off the show with the celebration of him instead of putting it, after all this stuff. But I guess it is what it is. But they have this huge brawl, which I thought wasn't, an interesting way to start off Raw. It was something different. We had never seen that before. And they have to be pulled apart. Seth Rollins dives on Lashley, and they pretty much have to be separated and stuff. And then John Cena makes his return to Raw. This is the first Raw that he was on since, I think, the WrestleMania 33 go-home show, I believe. And he announces he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match. That was pretty much the gist of his promo. And then Drew McIntyre comes out and says that, he doesn't care about John Cena's hair and about his, movie star career and all that type of stuff. And says that Vince McMahon on the previous episode of Raw had said that he's the best in the world, or the greatest superstar of all time, and he agrees with him, and he wants to make his name off of John Cena. So John Cena says that he's cutting the predictable promo that everybody cuts, so he challenges him to come down to the ring and fight him. But then Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley come out and said that they're going to find a lawyer to sue Seth Rollins for attacking Bobby Lashley, and then Seth Rollins attacks Bobby Lashley from behind. They get into a brawl, which leads to Dean Ambrose coming out, and it's like a 2-on-1 situation. So, and Cena goes to help, and it's like a 3-on-2 situation with Drew McIntyre included. So then Finn Balor runs out and dives on everybody. So then we find out that the match was turned into a 6-man tag team match between John Cena, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, Drew McIntyre, and Bobby Lashley, with Leo Rush ringside, which actually was a really good 6-man tag team match. They dominate Finn Balor for a while, get the heat on him. Then John Cena makes the hot tag. He hits I believe the AA on Lashley or Dean Ambrose. I don't remember which one. And McIntyre comes in and hits the glass claw kiss on him, and he throws Cena into the steps, and they get the heat on Cena for a while. And then Cena hits the AA on Lashley, and he tries to make the tag, but the heels cut him off. But then eventually he makes the hot tag to Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins comes in like a house on fire, which I thought was awesome. He hits a moonsault right onto McIntyre and Lashley, which was awesome. And then eventually he, after, everybody hits the finishers on each other and stuff, Rollins beats Ambrose with the stomp, and which that made sense considering what they did later on in the show. Then he sees Triple H talking to Bayley and Sasha Banks, and Seth Rollins is upset about this because of that promo that Triple H did on the previous episode of Raw. So he rushes backstage and he demands his rematch for the Intercontinental Championship with Dean Ambrose, and Triple H grants him the rematch for the main event of Raw. Well, he says tonight, but it pretty much was the main event in a Falls Count Anywhere match, and that was that. I thought this was all really good stuff. I really enjoyed it. And then Hulk Hogan returns and celebrates the life of Mean Gene Okerlund. Now, obviously, Hulk Hogan showing up is a very controversial topic now because of, you know, all the backlash that went into him leaving and stuff. And then when he came back a crown jewel. I feel like WWE kind of used Mean Gene Okerlund to bring Hulk Hogan back, but at the same time, so much of Mean Gene Okerlund is defined by Hulk Hogan. I feel like Hulk Hogan was the perfect person to do this, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm in between on it because of those reasons, but I'm just gonna state the facts. And he comes out and he talks about what Mean Gene Okerlund meant to sports entertainment, which was a very heartwarming, and he shows a video package of everything in Mean Gene Okerlund's career, which if you haven't seen this video package, go out of your way to watch it. And afterwards, Hulk Hogan, talks about, what Mean Gene Okerlund meant to the wrestling business some more. And then he does a Hulk Hogan style promo talking about Mean Gene going up to heaven, how he's making the main event tag team matches with Macho Man Randy Savage and the Ultimate Warrior versus Andre the Giant and Mr. Perfect. And he's going to have, no, not Andre the Giant and Mr. Perfect, Roddy Piper and Mr. Perfect with Andre the Giant as the special guest referee. And he's going to fight over, Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young. And it was just awesome. Definitely give that a watch too. And even talks about how he's going to go off on Bobby the Brain Heenan. And Hulk Hogan says that, it was just awesome. This was an incredible segment. It was a very nice way to pay respect to Mean Gene Okerlund. And I thought it just ruled. But yeah, it was weird to see Hulk Hogan back after everything that just happened. And the controversial way he was brought back. And then you could make the argument that this is kind of controversial in a way. It's also since, they used Mean Gene Okerlund's death to bring back Hulk Hogan, but it's neither here nor there. And then we had the next match. It was a Lumberjack match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Raw Tag Team Champions Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus the Revival. And the Lumberjacks included the B Team, the Ascension, the Lucha House Party, and I forget. It was every tag team on Raw, pretty much. I might have missed a tag team, but I guess it is what it is. So pretty much what happens is the match is just whatever. It was fine match, I guess. But then the Revival go to hit a roll up on Chad Gable, and then Roode reverses it, and Chad Gable gets the roll up, but Dawson gets the ropes, and the ref doesn't see it. So they're telling that storyline that the Revival was continuously getting screwed out of the Raw Tag Team titles, and it doesn't really make any sense to me. It makes Roode and Gable come off like fluky champions, because when they were the champions, they didn't even beat... No, when they won the titles, they didn't even beat the champions. And then you have, them winning by fluky ways. And doesn't get them over. It doesn't get the Revival over because they're supposed to be heels and they're actually rightfully being screwed over. So this is just really stupid. And it's probably going to lead to like another match at the Royal Rumble where the Revival hopefully will win the Raw Tag Team titles. But if you want to just put the Raw Tag Team titles on the Revival, just do it. Don't waste my time with this bullshit. And then it shows superstars on their way, like, Lars Sullivan, EC3, Nikki Cross, Lacey Evans, and Heavy Machinery. They showed their vignettes again. They did the same thing on SmackDown, but I'm looking forward to seeing them get called up. And then we had Elias versus Baron Corbin. Elias does his concert. Baron Corbin comes out and whines. And then they have a match that was just there. No reason for it to exist, but it was just there. And Baron Corbin just randomly wins. I didn't like any of this. Then Dean Ambrose is backstage and said that he's going to take everything from Seth Rollins tonight. Fine promo. It doesn't really feel like, though, that Ambrose's heel turn's really gone over as expected, but it was fine. Then Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar have their face-off, except Brock Lesnar doesn't actually come out. He doesn't want to waste his time to get, to go out there and face off with Braun Strowman. And they do this like weird split screen where Braun Strowman's like in the ring and looking directly at the camera, and Brock Lesnar's just backstage. It was really dumb. But Braun Strowman tries to egg Brock Lesnar to come out. So Lesnar eventually goes out there to see what he's got, but then decides not to. And then Braun Strowman says that at the Royal Rumble, you're going to get these hands. The segment was kind of lame. Kind of a lame way to put over this match. And it really didn't help me look forward to this match any more than it did. So I guess it is what it is there. And then Ember Moon and Apollo Crews beat Mahalisha with the Sin Brothers in like a minute. Doesn't get anybody over right there. Then we had a Moment of Bliss with Ronda Rousey. I thought the Moment of Bliss was weird as well. Alexa Bliss is hosting this, and she brings out Ronda Rousey. Well, first she shows a video package that with everything Ronda Rousey did in 2018. UFC Hall of Famer, all these talk shows she was on and stuff. WWE superstar. Ronda Rousey comes out and says that she wants to face the person that, is the representation of Sasha Banks. Because she was cutting this promo, and I thought she was going to say Charlotte Flair because of, that would make sense. But she went with Sasha Banks instead. Alexa Bliss is offended about this. And then Nia Jax pops up and makes this random, gagging sound that sounded actually pretty funny when you watch it back. And thinks she should get a Raw Women's title match. But then Sasha Banks comes out and challenges her to a match. And the winner faces Ronda Rousey at the Royal Rumble. Nia Jax accepts. Well, she doesn't accept it first. She talks about how she's the baddest bitch there. And then when it comes back to commercial, I guess she did accept because the match was happening. But this segment was fine up until Nia Jax got involved. She just kind of put that segment down the toilet. And yeah, it was just downhill from there. And Sasha Banks and Nia Jax have a bad match because Nia Jax really isn't that good. And Sasha Banks makes her tap out to the bank statement, but it's a bad match. I don't really feel like breaking it down. So now at the Royal Rumble, Ronda Rousey is going to defend her Raw Women's title against Sasha Banks, which that match probably will be awesome, but Sasha Banks has been booked so bad over the past year, and I just really haven't given that much of a shit about her, that I don't think she's going to beat Ronda Rousey. If this was Sasha Banks of, NXT 2015, I would be more hyped for this match, but it's not, so yeah. But I think the match would be really good, though, because obviously Ronda Rousey's really good, Sasha Banks is really good. But what's weird is Sasha Banks is still announced for the Royal Rumble match, so I don't know what's going on there. Then we had the main event. It was a Falls Count Anywhere match for the Intercontinental Championship. Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. Before the match even starts, Seth Rollins attacks Dean Ambrose from behind, beats the crap out of him, fights him in the ring, hits a suicide dive on the outside after the match officially starts. And Dean Ambrose tries to get away from Seth Rollins throughout the beginning portions of this match. They end up brawling backstage where Seth Rollins brutalizes Dean Ambrose, but then eventually when Rollins goes for a suplex, Ambrose hits a neck breaker on one of those equipment cases, and then it goes to commercial, which was kind of stupid. They fight over to the announcer's table where Dean Ambrose back suplex to Seth Rollins to the table, and they fight into the crowd. Ambrose throws Rollins, into the barricade and hits him in the ribs with a chair. He tries to do the thing where he goes for the dirty deeds on the concrete like he did the night he turned on him, but Rollins backdrops him on the concrete. And then Seth Rollins hits a awesome buckle bomb into the corner, and then he ends up hitting the stomp. But then Bobby Lashley pulls Seth Rollins before he can make the cover. Lashley brutalizes Seth Rollins, hits the Dominator on him, hits the spear on him, and Ambrose makes the cover, retains his Intercontinental Championship, and afterwards Lashley powerbombs Rollins through a table, and that was the end of Raw. Raw, I thought, was an okay show. It definitely didn't show that this was a new era for WWE because they were kind of making a lot of the same stupid mistakes that they always would have made even before the new era came into effect. But I liked the Intercontinental Championship match. The starting of Raw was exciting with a Rollins Lashley brawl and Cena's return and the 6-man tag, Hogan's celebration of Mean Gene Okerlund. But then you had the middle portion of the show kind of fall flat a little bit with Elias versus Baron Corbin, a crappy Raw tag team title match. Lesnar and Strowman's face-off was very disappointing, and then obviously the crappy mixed tag team match. So I'll be generous and give it a C+. I thought it was, not a B- show, but okay, because a lot of the show really was, the 6-man tag and stuff, so, and the Falls Count Anywhere match, so it is what it is. But yeah, I thought Raw was an okay show. I'll give it a C+. And then we have SmackDown, which I thought was a much better show than Raw, but had its flaws. So we had SmackDown for January 8th, 2019. We had the commentary team of Corey Graves, Tom Phillips, and Byron Saxton. And it opens right up with the new Daniel Bryan backstage, bewildering everybody, if that's the right word, about eating hot dogs, drinking soda, and buying t-shirts. Just go watch this. It's absolutely awesome, and I think it's fantastic. And he's doing it to the WWE Universe, calling them impotent, and he gets attacked by R-Truth. This obviously played into the fact that he attacked him on the Christmas Day edition of SmackDown. And they have a nice little match where Daniel Bryan wins with a running knee. And afterwards, the new Daniel Bryan gets attacked by the real AJ Styles. And the real AJ Styles has to be pulled off of Daniel Bryan. And I actually thought this was a very hard way to start SmackDown. I thought it ruled. And I thought it was awesome. I like the direction they're going with AJ Styles right now. And I can't wait to see this WWE Championship match at the Royal Rumble, which at the end of the show I'll talk about the updated card for the Royal Rumble. Then we had a tag team match. It was Rey Mysterio and Mustafa Ali versus Samoa Joe and Andrade Cien Almas with Selena Vega inside. Really good tag team match. It's just awesome. Go give it a watch. What I was worried about the most was that they were just going to job out Andrade Cien Almas again, but they didn't do that actually. He ended up turning a 619 into the Hammerlock DDT and actually got not just the win, but the winning pinfall in this match, which I thought that absolutely rocked. I think Andrade Cien Almas is a hell of a talent, and I think, it makes sense to push him, so hopefully this is the startings of a push for him, but we'll have to wait and see. But I thought it was a really good tag team match. And then Carmella's backstage and talks about how she's going to win the triple threat match because she's a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion and has beaten Charlotte Flair twice. The Usos are backstage and talk about how they're going to beat the Bar to get a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Shane McMahon's backstage and The Miz is upset that Shane McMahon didn't give themselves a SmackDown Tag Team title match, but Shane McMahon still says that they have a long way to go. Really don't like this thing. Really don't like this storyline. Then we have a Rusev promo, which this was fine. He's upset with Shinsuke Nakamura that he, caused his wife Lana to get hurt. But then Shinsuke Nakamura shows footage that it's actually Rusev's fault since he kicked him, causing Lana to get hurt. And this makes Rusev upset. He runs backstage to go beat the crap out of Nakamura, but Nakamura gets the jump on him. He throws one of those equipment cases into his ribs, and he ends up hitting the King Sasha on him backstage. But I actually like this. It's a nice feud for the U.S. Championship, so I thought this was good stuff. And then Becky Lynch is backstage and talk about why she's going to win the triple threat match. Then we had the Bar versus the Usos, and if the Usos win, they get a future SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. It was a fine match, but we've seen this match a million times, so yeah. What ends up happening is Mandy Rose comes out and causes a distraction, allowing Cesaro to beat one of the Usos with a neutralizer. I think it was Jay. And obviously Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are happy about this backstage. And what happens is Naomi comes up and beats the crap out of them, and the fight has to get broken up and all that. So, yeah. And then afterwards, I forgot to mention, The Miz came out and challenged them on behalf of him and Shane McMahon to a SmackDown Tag Team title match at the Royal Rumble, where the Ball accept. Not looking forward to that at all. I don't know why they're doing that match. Sheamus lays out The Miz with a blow kick, and then afterwards Shane is like all upset with Miz that he made that match, but then he's like, yeah, let's do the match. So, yeah, we have Miz and Shane McMahon versus the Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I think that's stupid. So, there's that. And then the new Daniel Bryan's backstage and talks about how he's more ruthless and aggressive than the real AJ Styles is. And then we had the main event of SmackDown. It was a SmackDown Women's Championship #1 contenders match. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Carmella. This was a really good triple threat match. I don't know what match was better, this one or the SummerSlam triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's title. But I really could go either way. They had a lot of awesome maneuvers in this match, but then eventually Becky Lynch just ends up getting the win with the disarm her onto Carmella, which I thought was kind of an interesting decision, because I thought what would have happened was, Charlotte Flair would have won this match, which opens up the door for Becky Lynch to go into the Royal Rumble match, but they didn't really go with that here. Afterwards, her and Asuka have a face-off, but I'm not going to complain about this because, Asuka and Becky Lynch are going to have an awesome match at the Royal Rumble, and they still could have Becky Lynch enter the Royal Rumble match and win the Royal Rumble match, because, we've known in past Royal Rumble history, even if certain wrestlers have been in matches before, they usually end up winning the Royal Rumble match. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of SmackDown. I thought SmackDown, though, was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. I thought the opening portions of it was awesome. I did like the Bar versus the Usos and the main event, but the only things I really didn't care for were everything with Miz and Shane and everything with Mandy Rose and Naomi. So I'll give SmackDown I'll give it a B. It was a really good show. Then we have 205 Live from this week. Let's get right into that. We had the commentary team of Nigel McGuinness, Vic Joseph, and Percy Watson. We had the first match on the show. It was Noam Dar versus Tony Nese. I thought they had a really good match. It was just really good. Tony Nese did like one of those selfie promos talking about how he's going to give Noam Dar no excuses when he beats him. And, they hit like a lot of really nice moonsaults and stuff on each other. But then eventually, Tony Nese gets overzealous and wants to hit the running knees on Noam Dar, but Noam Dar counters it into a roll-up. So I'm imagining they're going to have a third match with each other, but I'm obviously okay with that. And then we had a promo from the Brian Kendrick in behalf of Akira Tozawa saying that he was going to win the Cruiserweight Championship, and does his thing. It was like a letter that he had written that Kendrick was reading. And the Brian Kendrick says that he feels like he owes Akira Tozawa after everything he put him through when he came to 205 Live, and said he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that Akira Tozawa wins the Cruiserweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. Then Drew Gulak, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drake Maverick are backstage. And this was actually a pretty funny backstage segment where Gulak and Gallagher had like ideas of superstars that Drake Maverick could sign. And Drake Maverick said that he would look at it, and he just like drops it on the floor like he's not going to look at it. And then, the Kanellises walk in, and they're upset that they haven't been booked on 205 Live, and they've had to fly away from their baby girl, time that they can't get back. And Drake Maverick apologizes, saying that there's only so many spots on 205 Live. So Maria Kanellis talks about how Drake Maverick's right, because she's been in the business for 15 years, and she knows what it takes to get on TV, and they've been fighting to get themselves on TV, so they're just going to fight a little bit more. I can't wait to see what they do with this. I thought they were going to interfere in the main event, but I can't wait to see what they actually end up doing with this. And then Leo Rush does a promo. talking about how the Lucha House Party cost him an opportunity at the Cruiserweight Championship, which I expected was going to happen. This is leading to a feud between him and the Lucha House Party. Then we had the main event. It was a Cruiserweight Championship Fatal 4-Way qualifying match. Cedric Alexander versus Hideo Itami with Arya Daivari inside. This match was awesome. I don't know what match I liked more, this match or the first match I had. I probably would say the first one. But this match was awesome. Hideo Itami looked very aggressive in this match, and Cedric Alexander looked awesome in this match. But eventually, it's not enough for Cedric Alexander. He ends up losing to that crappy finisher that Hideo Itami has. And he actually advanced into the Fatal 4-Way match, which I actually was surprised about. I thought Cedric Alexander was going to easily get the win, but they actually went with Hideo Itami. So now in the Fatal 4-Way match, it's Kalisto, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami, and obviously the champion Buddy Murphy. So I kind of liked how they kind of mixed it up a little bit, because I thought it was going to be, Kalisto I think was a fair shot, but I thought it was going to be Gulak and Cedric Alexander, but they actually went and surprised me, and I actually think this could be a hell of a Fatal 4-Way match for the Cruiserweight Championship. And afterwards, Buddy Murphy does this promo saying that what's on the line for him is to prove that he's the best Cruiserweight in the world, and says that at the Royal Rumble he'll prove that, but he calls out anybody for next week for an open challenge, anybody that's, meets the Cruiserweight limit to prove that he is the best in the world. And then that was pretty much the end of the segment. I liked this ending here, though. And that was 205 Live. I thought it was a great episode. I enjoyed everything that was on it. I enjoyed, everything that was on it. I don't really need to go through it again, but I'm going to give that a B+. And that's pretty much... And then for main event, there's nothing that happened on main event. It was just something that was hosted by Scott Stanford that I'm not going to watch because it doesn't make any sense to me, so... There's that. But before I end the video, I will give the updated Royal Rumble code. I'll go through that right now. So we have a Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa versus Kalisto versus Hideo Itami, which sadly probably is going to be on the kickoff. Then we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, The Bar versus Shane McMahon and The Miz. Not interested in that. Then we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match, SmackDown Women's Champion Asuka versus Becky Lynch. I think that's going to be an awesome match. Then we have the Raw Women's Championship match, Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks. I think that will be a really good match, but they're going to have to do a lot to get Sasha Banks over to the level to face Ronda Rousey and stuff. Then we have the WWE Championship match, WWE Champion, the new Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. I think that match will be really good, especially with AJ Styles' new aggressive attitude. Then we have the WWE Universal Championship match, WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. Not sure how that match is going to go, considering the fact that they didn't have that good of a match at No Mercy, and then obviously we had the situation that happened at Crown Jewel, so we'll have to wait and see how that match goes. Then we have the two Royal Rumble matches, starting with the women. The participants thus far are SmackDown's Carmella, who will be coming in at number 30 since she was part of the winning team at Mixed Match Challenge. Monday Night Raw's Ember Moon. Monday Night Raw's Natalya. Monday Night Raw's Bayley. Monday Night Raw's Ruby Riott. Monday Night Raw's Liv Morgan. Monday Night Raw's Sarah Logan. And Monday Night Raw's Sasha Banks. I guess if she loses, it will open up the door for her to be in this match. Then we have SmackDown's Mandy Rose and SmackDown's Sonya Deville. Monday Night Raw's Alicia Fox. SmackDown's Selena Vega, and SmackDown's Naomi. And then we have the Men's Royal Rumble match, which the participants are SmackDown's R-Truth, and he'll be coming in number 30 since he was also a part of the winning team at the Mixed Match Challenge. Then we have Monday Night Raw's Drew McIntyre. Then we have SmackDown's Big E, SmackDown's Kofi Kingston, and SmackDown's Xavier Woods. Then we have Monday Night Raw's Finn Balor, Monday Night Raw's Seth Rollins, SmackDown's Jeff Hardy, Monday Night Raw's Dean Ambrose, Monday Night Raw's Bobby Lashley, and then we have SmackDown's Samoa Joe. We have free agent John Cena. We have Monday Night Raw's Elias, Monday Night Raw's Baron Corbin, Monday Night Raw's Jinder Mahal, Monday Night Raw's Apollo Crews, SmackDown's Andrade Cien Almas, SmackDown's Mustafa Ali and SmackDown's Rey Mysterio. But I think we're going to get more announcements of the Royal Rumble match. So that will be interesting right there. This probably might be my last WWE All Talk video for a while. I might do another one next week, but I will keep you guys up to date on that. I don't think I will probably do one next week, but we'll have to wait and see. But that's pretty much the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and On the Talking Lady YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.